Have you ever wondered how our deepest passions and desires can affect our peace of mind, our inner peace? Today we delve into a subject that is often surrounded by taboos and misunderstandings, but which is a life-giving force for many: sex. It is a subject that captures our thoughts, influences our behavior, and permeates cultures around the world. But before we jump to assumptions, let's pause for a moment. This video is not about tips to improve your sex life. Instead, we embark on a journey that challenges conventional thinking, a philosophical inquiry rooted in Stoicism that explores the reasons why someone might choose not to have sex. It is a bold and thought-provoking approach that encourages introspection and challenges us to consider the deeper dimensions of the human experience beyond immediate gratification. Known for its emphasis on reason, virtue, and the endurance of hardship, Stoicism offers a unique lens through which to view our relationship with sex. By thinking about abstinence from sex from a Stoic perspective, we confront our impulses, examine the role of pleasure in our lives, and examine how our choices shape our individual happiness, as well as our moral character and inner peace. Join us as we venture across this philosophical landscape, questioning assumptions and embracing the complexities of human desire and ethical considerations. We embark on a journey that promises to be thought-provoking, conversational, and perhaps even redefining our understanding of fulfillment and self-control. Are you ready to explore the philosophical reasons steeped in ancient wisdom for considering a life without sex? Let's get started. Sit back, put your mind into philosophical mode, and prepare for a conversation that will challenge your beliefs, make you question your actions, and just might lead you down a path less traveled but more enriching. Are you ready for the challenge? Let's go there. First, self-control. Let's begin by exploring the key aspect of Stoic philosophy that we can all apply to our lives: self-control. Now, I know that we live in a world that often tells us to follow our impulses, to do what feels right in the moment. But let me tell you something. While sex is one of life's most intimate and pleasurable experiences, it also has one of the most powerful abilities to alter our rationality and self-control. Focused on self-discipline, the Stoics teach us that we are not mere animals governed by our desires. We have the ability to reason, choose, and control our actions. Do you know what the real power of a person is? It's not about how much pleasure you get, it's about how much control you have over yourself. Imagine having the kind of self-control that allows you to make decisions that are fully in line with your values and life goals. That is pure power, my friend. And yes, abstaining from sex can be a way to control it. This is not to say that sex is bad, but conscious abstinence can be a practical exercise in self-discipline. It can teach you a lot about your wants, desires, and ultimately who you are as a person. By controlling this impulse, you can also improve your ability to control other impulses and distractions that can prevent you from achieving your greatest goals in life. The key here is intentionality. If you are going to engage in anything, even something as natural as sex, do so with full awareness and understanding of your motives and their long-term consequences. By exercising self-control, you put yourself in the driver's seat of your life. You stop being the traveler driven by desires and circumstances and control your destiny. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where self-control is at stake, remember that you have a choice. And that choice, my friends, can be the first step to a more stoic and meaningful life. And ultimately a more fulfilling life. Second, detachment from perishable pleasures. If the first point got you thinking, get ready, because we're going to delve even deeper into the wise teachings of Stoic philosophy. This time we're talking about letting go of short-term pleasures. Modern society constantly bombards us with the idea that pleasure is good, that we should seek it whenever possible, and avoid pain at all costs. But have you ever wondered how long that joy actually lasts? It is often momentary, fleeting, and goes out almost as quickly as a fire, leaving us wanting more. The Stoics teach us something very different, that true peace and happiness come from detachment, from not letting our emotional well-being depend on things beyond our control. And yes, That includes sexual pleasure. Getting away from short-term pleasures doesn't mean you can't enjoy the good things in life. That means you don't become a slave to these pleasures. You don't let them dictate your actions or consume your thinking. Imagine if you could free yourself from the constant need to seek external gratification. Imagine how much more mental energy you would have at your disposal, how much clearer your focus would be, and how much more aligned your actions would be with your true goals and values. That's what a breakup can do to you. Practicing detachment can change your life in ways you never imagined. You will not become someone without feelings and desires, but someone who deeply understands what really matters. Basically, you become your own boss. And in that self-mastery, you will find far more lasting and meaningful satisfaction than any short-term pleasure could provide. So are you ready to start practicing detachment and free yourself from the chain of fleeting pleasures? I know you can do it. The power is within you. The first step is to recognize that you have the right to choose. So choose wisely. Choose to be in control. Choose the freedom associated with separation. Third, focus on long-term goals. After exploring the importance of self-control and letting go of momentary pleasures, we encounter the same revolutionary truth: the importance of focusing on long-term goals. Think of the great Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius. They weren't looking for instant gratification. They were dedicated to virtues such as wisdom, justice, and courage, goals that take a lifetime to develop. This is the core of the long-term goal. When we get caught up in the pursuit of immediate pleasures, we lose sight of what is really important. But if we focus on long-term goals, we change the whole game. Suddenly, you're not stuck in this endless cycle of wanting, getting, enjoying for a moment, and then wanting more. Instead, you're on a path with a sense of direction. The path that will lead you to the best version of yourself. Focusing on your long-term goals doesn't mean you have to ignore everything else. It means your perspective changes. You are no longer guided by what you want now and start moving according to what is best for you in the future. And that has a powerful impact not only on the results you achieve, but also on the person you become in the process. This approach frees you from the emotional roller coaster that comes with seeking instant gratification. Instead, you'll feel a much deeper sense of peace and contentment because you know you're working towards something truly important. It's time to make your list of goals. Are they aligned with your long-term vision for life? If not, it might be time to make some adjustments. And remember, long-term goals are like a beacon in the distance. You may not know exactly how to get there, but as long as you keep an eye on it, you'll always have a direction to go. Fourth, strengthen emotional relationships. Having considered the importance of focusing on long-term goals, it's time to take it a step further and talk about something we often underestimate: strengthening emotional relationships. Yes, you heard that right. If Stoic philosophy has taught us anything, it is that human connection is the foundation of a life well lived. Great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus tell us about the importance of social duty and empathy. We cannot be an island. We are essentially social creatures, and our relationships are a mirror in which we see our best and worst qualities reflected. Now, you might ask, what does this have to do with abstinence in the Stoic view? By strengthening our emotional relationships, we prevent the fleeting sexual desire from distorting our judgment and damaging the quality of our communication. In other words, sex can be wonderful, but when it becomes the main focus, we can forget the subtleties and deeper beauties of human connection. Focus on building the relationships that really matter. Learn to listen, share, be vulnerable, and give without expecting anything in return. By doing this, you create a safe space for emotional growth, both for yourself and for the people around you. This in turn strengthens your character and makes you a more balanced and emotionally resilient person. Isn't that liberating? Instead of being stuck in a hamster wheel of instant gratification and constant disappointment, you rise to a level where you can enjoy deeper, more meaningful and lasting connections. So if you're ready to take your life to the next level, start investing in your emotional relationships. Learn to love deeper, forgive faster, and appreciate more fully. In this arrangement lies the secret of a fulfilling life full of emotional experiences. Fifth, avoid unintended consequences. At this point, it's time to move on to a somewhat more pragmatic, but equally important topic: prevention of unintended consequences. Yes, we're talking about those complications that we often forget in the heat of the moment, but can have a lasting impact on our lives. Stoic philosophers have always emphasized the importance of a virtuous life, and one of those virtues is prudence. Prudence is not only about thinking before acting, but also about considering the future consequences of our actions. In the context of sex, this can include everything from preventing STDs to preventing complicated relationships or even unwanted pregnancy in some cases. We are not saying that sex is bad. In reality, it can be a beautiful expression of love and an important part of human intimacy. But it also has the ability to become a propagator of serious complications if not handled appropriately and thoughtfully. By taking a more stoic and reflective approach, you can assess whether the sexual activity you're considering aligns with your deepest principles and long-term well-being. Ask yourself, will this activity bring me closer to the person I want to become? Will it bring something positive to my life? Am I prepared for the possible consequences? These questions are not just a mental exercise. They are practical tools to help you live a more thoughtful and conscious life. And believe me, it's powerful. Preventing unwanted consequences not only protects you and your partner, but also strengthens your commitment to an honest and virtuous life. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you have to make a decision about sex, stop for a moment and think. Consider the consequences, immediate and long-term. And remember, the choice is yours. Choose wisely, my friend. Sixth, to live by principles. As we near the end of our research, it's time to pull it all together and talk about what it means to live by principles. Stoic philosophy is not just a collection of theoretical ideas. It is a practical guide to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. And one of the cornerstones of this philosophy is to align our actions with our deepest principles. When it comes to sex, you need to ask yourself some basic questions. What role does sex play in my life? Is it in line with my values and principles? Am I using it to masturbate, or am I using it responsibly and respectfully? Living by principles is not always easy. It requires introspection, honesty, and a willingness to challenge yourself. But the rewards are great. When you live in harmony with your principles, you experience a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. You know that there is something greater behind your actions than immediate desires or external pressure. You will become an honest person, someone others can trust and respect. So take a moment to think about your principles and values. What is most important to you in life? How can you ensure that your actions, including decisions about sex, reflect these values? Remember, you have the right to choose. Choose to live by your principles and you will find yourself on the path to a life of meaning and purpose. Seventh, investing in personal growth. As we near the end of our research, we come to a topic that is close to my heart: investing in personal growth. Stoic philosophy teaches us that life is a journey of continuous improvement, a quest to become the best version of ourselves. And yes, that includes our approach to sex. Investing in personal growth means taking time to think about your strengths and weaknesses, identify areas where you can improve, and take proactive steps to become the person you want to be. When it comes to sex, this can mean anything from learning your desires and boundaries to developing healthier communication skills with your partner. But personal growth is more than just individual actions. It also means developing curiosity, openness, and humility. This means you want to learn from your own experiences, seek feedback from others, and accept change as a natural part of life. How can you invest in your personal growth when it comes to sex? Start asking yourself the hard questions. Are there patterns in my behavior that I would like to change? Are there areas where I can get more information or training? Am I ready to step out of my comfort zone to grow? Remember that personal growth is a lifelong journey, and there are no quick fixes or easy answers. By investing in yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, you can create a life full of meaning, fulfillment, and yes, even joy. Eighth, the broader perspective. As we near the end of our research, I encourage you to take a step back and take a broader perspective. Stoic philosophy teaches us to see beyond our immediate desires and impulses, to consider the bigger picture and our place in it. And yes, that includes how we feel about sex. When we look more broadly, we realize that sex is only one part of a much larger human experience. It is a powerful and intimate expression of love and connection. But it is not the only one. There are many ways to find purpose and fulfillment in life, and each of us has the right to choose the path that most deeply aligns with our values and aspirations. So think about your perspective on sex. What role does it play in your life? How does this affect the overall sense of happiness and well-being? Are there other areas in your life that could benefit from more attention and focus? When you adopt a broader perspective, you open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities for growth. You will see instant gratification beyond limits and explore the deeper truths that guide your journey. And in doing so, you create a life full of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Ninth, cultivating gratitude and contentment. As we come to the end of our study, let's take a moment to consider the importance of cultivating gratitude and contentment in our lives. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true happiness comes not from external possessions or achievements, but from an internal state of mind, a state of gratitude and contentment. When it comes to sex, it means appreciating the beauty and intimacy of the experience without getting attached or addicted to it. It means recognizing that our value as individuals is not determined by our sexual experiences or abilities, but by our character, values, and actions. How can you cultivate gratitude and satisfaction with sex in your life? Begin by practicing mindfulness and being present in your interactions with your partner. Take time to enjoy moments of connection and intimacy and show appreciation for shared trust and vulnerability. But gratitude and contentment are not just about this moment. They are also meant to reflect on the blessings and opportunities that have brought you to where you are today. Take a moment to think about the people who supported you, the experiences that shaped you, and the lessons that taught you. And remember, true happiness comes not from what we have, but from what we value. 10th, accompanied by a journey of self-discovery. As we conclude our exploration, I invite you to embrace the journey of self-discovery that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism is not simply a set of ideas or principles. It is a way of life, a path to self-control and inner peace. When it comes to sex, it means exploring your desires, boundaries, and values with honesty and curiosity. It means you want to learn from your experiences, grow from your mistakes, and develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your relationships. However, finding yourself is not always easy. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to face the parts of ourselves that we might ignore. It means asking tough questions, challenging your assumptions, and being open to new possibilities. How can you embrace the journey of self-discovery when it comes to sex? Start thinking about your own experiences and beliefs. What messages have you internalized about sex? How have these messages shaped your attitudes and behavior? Next, challenge yourself to explore new perspectives and ideas. Seek out diverse voices and opinions, and be willing to consider perspectives that may differ from your own. And remember that self-discovery is a lifelong journey that requires patience, compassion, and a commitment to growth. Together, Stoic philosophy offers us a powerful framework for understanding and approaching gender in ways that are conscious, intentional, and in line with our deepest values and aspirations. Through the lens of Stoicism, we explored deep insights into how our choices about sex can affect our immediate gratification, as well as our long-term well-being and moral integrity. By cultivating self-control, Stoicism reminds us that we have the ability to control our impulses and align our actions with our highest principles. This practice allows us to transcend our momentary desires and make decisions that honor our true nature. Letting go of short-term pleasures, as the Stoics recommended, teaches us to find lasting satisfaction by not depending on external sources for our happiness. This approach frees us from the cycle of desire and frustration and promotes inner peace and clarity. Additionally, focusing on long-term goals gives direction and purpose to our lives. Stoic philosophers such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius demonstrate this by devoting themselves to virtues such as wisdom, justice, and courage. Aligning our actions with these enduring values ensures that our pursuits, including sex, contribute to our growth and fulfillment over time. In addition, the strengthening of emotional relationships emphasizes the Stoic recognition of the deep meaning of human connection. By developing meaningful connections based on empathy, respect, and mutual understanding, we improve our emotional resilience and deepen our capacity for authentic intimacy. Acting carefully to avoid unintended consequences underscores Stoic ethics, encouraging us to consider our actions more broadly. This includes protecting our physical and emotional well-being and fulfilling our responsibilities and obligations to ourselves and others. Maintaining mental clarity is another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, guiding us to make decisions based on reason rather than fleeting emotions. By maintaining clarity of mind, we improve our ability to navigate complex issues and honestly follow our values. Conservation of energy, a central concept of Stoic principles, leads us to invest our resources wisely and purposefully. It involves recognizing the limited nature of our energies and channeling them toward goals that promote personal growth, meaningful contribution, and sustainable well-being. Avoiding emotional dependence emphasizes the Stoic teachings on self-reliance and resilience. By cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and fulfillment that doesn't depend on external validation, we empower ourselves to enter relationships from a place of strength and authenticity. Improving self-esteem through Stoic practices emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, self-acceptance, and continuous self-improvement. By appreciating our inherent worth and striving for a virtuous life, we create a lasting foundation for continued self-fulfillment and true self-respect. Finally, respect for personal values and principles embodies a Stoic ethic that guides us to live authentically and honorably. By aligning our choices with our deepest convictions, we cultivate a life of integrity, purpose, and moral clarity. By accepting these Stoic principles, we begin the journey to a life defined not only by momentary pleasures or outward claims, but by lasting values, deep connections, and meaningful contributions. Each step taken in harmony with Stoic wisdom brings us closer to true fulfillment. A life enriched with purpose, resilience, and a deep sense of inner peace. When we finish exploring the sexual aspect of Stoic philosophy, let us remember that our journey to self-knowledge and self-realization continues. By integrating Stoic principles into our lives, we require deeper introspection, purposeful living, and an unwavering commitment to personal growth. Thank you for joining us on this philosophical journey. Let these insights inspire you to navigate your relationship with sex and the complexities of life with wisdom, courage, and unwavering authenticity. Together, let us continue to explore, question, and evolve into a life that embodies the timeless virtues of Stoicism.